Who is ready for this new season of Real Housewives of Potomac? Minus Robyn, minus Candiace, and a few new people, okay? Now, first, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe. I love reality TV and I'm a therapist, so y'all gonna get it from a therapist perspective, but I need y'all assistance to help this video get in the algorithm, okay? Now, let me know if you've ever seen on any of these Bravo shows a reenactment. Now, was that really necessary? Okay, I see where we're going. It's giving me Orange County vibes. It's giving me Shannon versus Tamara and this whole Karen DUI situation. They're going to run with it. Now, is a DUI ever right? No. Okay, but it just felt like, okay, this is what we're going to run with. We need some kind of foundation to start this season off with. And hey, Karen, you just so happen to have a bunch of charges, a car accident with alcohol, and a DUI. So we're going to use this to fuel this new season and introduce these new cast members, okay? So we see Karen and Gizelle in the beginning. Now, I really feel like based off the history of Gizelle and Karen, are y'all friends like that? Where you're talking about what happened to her DUI, her arrest? Is it support? Or was Gizelle going into her producer bag? To me, it felt like Gizelle was really going into her producer bag. So let's talk about the charges, okay? What happened? What's going on, okay? And of course, Karen knows, okay, Gizelle is up to Gizelle. She's going to do her thing. She's going to try and get me to talk about something I don't want to talk about on camera, okay? I'm sure they had a conversation, some text messages, something to talk about this whole ordeal before Gizelle came over, before they went and had breakfast. But of course, Gizelle with Gizelle, because now she doesn't have her lapdog. Robyn's nowhere to be found. Well, she's to be found, but she's not on this show. So what are we gonna do? I need something, because I'm not gonna talk about my personal life. I'm not gonna talk about my girls going to college. I'm not gonna talk about, didn't she have a hysterectomy? I'm not gonna talk about my father passing. I'm not gonna do any of that. Okay, so I need something, and Karen will be that something. And it also shows me how, looking at Karen, the grand dame, where she is, and a lot of these stories that I heard about people in this season, a lot of Black women are masking. I see that in my practice. I saw this on this episode. A lot of the women have been masking for the perception of the world. Now, there was a part of me that was like, okay, your parents passed away in 2018. Here we are almost in 2025. Some people might say it's been like 7 years since that happened. Can you really blame your alcoholism on that? I think you can. I don't want to say you can blame it on that, but it shows how she has not really grieved her parents passing. And I wonder if behind the scenes she's been drinking and having issues with that. Because is this her first DUI? I don't think so. I think over time, she couldn't pretend anymore. She made some poor decisions, and a lot of people cope through drinking. A lot of my clients cope through drinking to mask how they feel, escape stress, escape the job they don't like, escape the people they don't like, escape the pain. And like I always say on my videos, there's only so much you can do to keep running and masking and drowning that pain until it catches up with you. And I think there's a lot of things going on in her life that she has not shown us. And a lot of these seasons, a lot of these women have masked. They've given us what they want us to hear. Last season, to me, Mia was the only one giving us realness. Maybe that time's too real. But it just feels like, okay, I really get some realness this season, some real stories, some real relatability, even though you guys are supposed to be housewives and some people look up to these women as what I wish I had, the marriages I've had. But it kind of feels like, okay, I can kind of see some of y'all are starting to get a little bit more real and tell y'all real stories. But with Karen, it just shows how grief manifests, okay? And how if you don't really work through the grief, the pain, it will catch up to you. And that is exactly what happened to her. But it also feels like everybody is like, let me pull on Karen. Let me use her storyline. Let's all do that. Let's just, use that as our baseline. Okay, and we're going to get to that little party. All right. But it just feels like it's let's use this to build upon, because we don't want to show our own lives. Are we going to get real Gizelle? For so many seasons, we're on season, is it 9 at this point? that we have not seen her show a lot of her real life. We've seen little bits with her daughters, but now they're at college. She doesn't have a relationship. She had that fake one last season, but what is it going to give this one? Okay. We also see Wendy, and I think Wendy has her hands in so many different things that, well, I said she's masking and pretending. I won't really say that, but I'm sure she stuck with that professor job for a long time because of her mother, trying to please, live up to what her mother wanted. So in some ways, once again, it's another Black woman living a life that I haven't really wanted, but for the sake of to be liked, people pleasing, I have put on that I've been enjoying. Maybe she has, but to me, Wendy has a lot of other options now in the media where having that full-time or part-time professor job was probably holding her back from doing what she really wants to do, which is probably going more into the media space. So to walk away from something that you've known for a very long time, so that makes your parents happy. I'm sure you guys can relate to doing and making choices based off the needs of other people, a lot of people, their parents, and putting yourself second, that now it's like, I'm ready to let that go. Ask yourself, what have you been doing or holding on to for the sake of your parents' liking, to please them, acceptance? And Wendy is showing us like you can take a step back. You can now go into womanhood. Have your parents see you as a woman, not just a child. And I think in some ways she's starting to step into, I'm a woman, not just a child. A lot of y'all can relate to that too. Do your parents see you as an adult? Or do they see you as a little girl, that little boy, still the little child? Okay, so in some ways she has been masking also. And now we get this new girl, I can't remember her name. We're calling Miss QVC. You have to grow and show me some things before I'm gonna really use your name and try and remember your name, okay? But as soon as they show her, they show up the husband's picture. He doesn't want to be seen, so it's, masked out. And it said she was moving back after so many years of QVC. So my first thought was like, was she fired from QVC? He don't want his picture shown, but it's okay to have the little girls' picture shown. Marriage must have ended. Because why else would you go from such a big thing like QVC, making money over there, to move back down here? Your marriage fell apart. Okay? And if Karen was really friends with her, how did she not know that? Once again, they bring on these people, friends of new wives. Oh, they're a friend. I've been friends with them for 5 years. Okay, right away I can tell y'all not that close, because you didn't even know her marriage had fallen apart. But was she masking? Was she pretending to make other people happy and make it seem like her marriage was in a good place when it really wasn't? Is my question. But I could tell with her, we're gonna see a lot of her. She's a very beautiful woman. It looks like she has a lot of business things going on. Sometimes when they bring on people, they give us a taste and then we don't see them no more. But I can tell with her, she's going to be in the mix. She got a full-on flower in the photos, so we know she's going to be around, right? Now, some of these other people are kind of like friends of, so I'm not going to really go into that. But let's talk about Ashley, who apparently now is ready to, for real, divorce. Okay, for so long it seemed like she was comfortable with what her husband was paying for, not having relationships because her man didn't agree with them. Okay, but now it's like, okay, I'm in my whole phase. I want to write some things. I want to do some things. Are we really gonna get real, Ashley? Because I see her also feeding into the whole Karen thing, the DUI. They got something to say about it, but what about your own life? Are we gonna get real storylines? Are we really gonna see the divorce? Or is it another storyline? Okay, what is Ashley really doing? How is she still here? And notice how they got rid of Robyn, they got rid of Candiace to replace them with like 3 other girls. Okay, it shows the influence to me of Candiace, love her, hate her, but to see that they had to replace her with 2 to 3 girls and Robyn too, I was just like, where all these girls come from? What y'all really doing? Y'all trying to see, let's play around, let's see what really works, okay? What girls are really gonna stay? Which ones are we gonna slowly fade away? But it was just like, dang, was Candiace really that girl that you had to replace her with 2 to 3 girls? Okay? And also, was she making that much money that Y'all was able to divide her one paycheck, and I guess Robyn too, into 3 separate paychecks. Let me know your thoughts. So we learn about these new girls coming along, and of course Gizelle's like, let's have a party for Karen. Okay, it's really giving me Tamara vibes from the Orange County Housewives. But if y'all don't watch that, it's a girl on there, a woman on there who also got a DUI, and the whole thing is about dragging her through this whole, you supposed to be my friend, but you keep bringing up my DUI. Okay, how are you my friend, but you're bullying me and talking about this DUI that I don't want to talk about on camera? I know I effed up. But it's also similar because I think Shannon is still drinking. Karen is still drinking. There's a lot of pretending, a lot of masking. Okay, so we get to this party and it just feels like Gizelle is doing Gizelle. Production Gizelle is in the house. Okay, and then we have Ashley walk in with her Hydro Flask baskets. Oh yeah, I just brought this basket for Karen. It has a Hydro Flask. It has some sober cards in there, some affirmations, because we don't know where she really is mentally. It's like the woman is not crazy, y'all. She's going through some things. And it's terrible, absolutely terrible. She chose to drink and drive. She could have killed somebody. She could have killed herself. It's terrible. But knowing that you have had a friendship or relationship with this woman for 10, 11 years, are you in a place where you're willing to drag her reputation for the sake of your own storyline? And we saw that over and over again with other people with Candiace, that they are kind of ruthless when it comes to making that paycheck. And I'm just wondering at what point do we stop participating in the ruin of people's reputation and lives? Now, some of y'all might think Karen ruined her own reputation by getting a DUI. But it's the people around her who are pretending to be ride or dies, the people who are pretending to support her, who are like, let's run with this. Okay, was it really necessary for Ashley to walk in with a flask, a Hydro Flask, a water bottle to keep Karen hydrated since she's not drinking? And in the previews I see over and over again, these drinks are, these are sober drinks. These are mocktails because of Karen. Do you mind if we drink in front of you? Now, some of that I feel like is respectful to ask, like, do you mind if we're drinking? And she's like, mind? What are y'all tripping off of? Which makes me also think, like someone said, was it Mia? That Karen probably did not stop drinking after that DUI, which is like, oh, girl, what you doing? Okay, at least if you're going to drink, don't call people drunk, who you in production with, who you are co-workers with. Because a lot of these relationships are not really real, they're co-workers. But it just feels like Candiace is gone, so we can't use her as a whipping girl. Unfortunately, Karen has always been the one riding the fence, but now we got something. Now we got something to use against her. So unfortunately, Karen might become the whipping girl this season. But I would like to hear Karen talk about her marriage problems, the age gap between her and her husband. She's an empty nester. Her daughter is at college, having both her parents deceased, trying to grieve. I think she was doing something with Surrey County also. So she does have a lot going on, which it would be authentic to show how much Black women take on. We have the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we're always trying to please other people and we forget ourselves. And sometimes when we forget ourselves, we end up in a lot of trouble. And I think that is what's happening with Karen. But there's some realness that could potentially pop up, but I don't know if Karen is in a place to really share her real story. Okay? But it just shows you how a lot of these women have been masking, pretending, putting on for social media, the cameras, and some of y'all are doing the same thing. But at the cost of what? What are you running from? What are you trying to prove? And a lot of stuff we see on social media are just highlight reels of people's lives. They're not the real thing. So I want you to think about, are you masking? Are you running from things? Have you confronted your issues? Are you really ready to live an authentic life? Or will you let the exhaustion of everything you've been running from chronically hurt you? Chronically ill, losing your hair, alopecia, things happening with your skin, with your weight. All of that at times can be the effects of trauma, stress, mental health. All that affects us mentally and physically. But sometimes we're just so used to going that we are not used to taking a pause, taking care of ourselves, and recognizing, what do I need compared to everyone around me? And what will it look like for me to stop pouring and give myself a break before I hit my breaking point? What is my body trying to tell me? And should I start listening, okay, before I am forced to listen? Now, these are just my thoughts on episode 1. We can be in the comments. Let me know what you think of this season thus far. Is Karen the whipping girl, or did she put herself in this position to become the talking point of the town, of Potomac, of the DMV? And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.